Live.
We live, baby.
Yes, sir. I'm here with who am I here with, man? This is the Danny. How you doing, man?
Danny Nelson, baby.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm here, man. Nah, I'm playing. I'm great. I'm great, bro. I'm getting better every single day. That is
That's
for
good. That's good.
sure.
It's good to see you off on a hard start to this whole Twitch thing, the pivotal view.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, dude. We're on a grind right now, man. Grind to make myself better and everybody around me better, bro. That's what I need. So,
That's good. That's good. That's why I'm here. I like to support good things.
I'm glad that you can see the good, man. I'm glad that you can see it. So I do have a. I want people to
For sure.
I want people to understand who you are on a moral level, and kind of like where you came from and kind of your viewpoint and your stance on just basic life. All right. So my first question for you really is,
Okay. So you want to take it chunk? You want to chunk it out for me? Yeah.
yeah. So really, my first one is what's your moral base? Where do you get your moral base? Who's your biggest inspiration and sorts of things like that.
Yeah. So I would say my morality comes 100% from the Lord and my faith. Um, I was born Catholic, baptized as a baby, and brought up in the church on Sundays, and faith formation groups and all that stuff has instilled the Lord's some of the Lord's tendencies. So the saying, "What would you do?" is not something that is always followed by me, but something that I try to follow and something that I strive for every day. So that's where I get most of my morality from, and knowing like, am I doing right or wrong? That's it's something. Would Jesus have done this or not? Um, yeah, I would
Okay.
say that's kind of where it comes from. There's definitely people I admire and people who I feel, have that really strong moral compass. And I don't think that you have to be a super nice guy to everybody,
Yeah.
and a super big teddy bear. I'm definitely a kind of a little, can be stern and maybe a little bit of a hard ass. But I think at the end of the day, as long as you're doing one to others as you'd want them to do to you, morally you're gonna be all right. And for me, I'm just one of those people where if I do something, I know if I do something that I know was right, I have like that good feeling in my heart, in my chest. But if I do something and I get that like kind of like
Mm.
caving in feeling, that sinking feeling in my
Mhm.
chest, it's like I knew that was wrong.
Yep.
So as a kid, you do things and like you pick on the kid at recess, and then you're like, ugh, like I don't feel that great.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, those memories stay in my head, and I remember that felt good, that didn't. So I try and have more feelings that feel good.
No, completely. No, I love that. I love that saying, what would Jesus do? What would God do? I feel like that holds a lot of weight in your life, like with your actions and how the way you live your life. Would that be true?
Yeah, definitely. If you don't, I think if you look at, oh yeah, 100%. I think if you look at like some of the most successful ones, I know like a guy me and you both like, Andrew Tate,
Yes,
like
sir.
him and his faith in the Quran, and he's a Muslim and all that, and Tristan's a Christian.
Yeah.
If you think you're the highest being in your life, it's you know it's probably not gonna end that well. There's a lot more
Yeah.
going on here than just us. We're part of the puzzle. So it's
Completely.
important. It's also important to realize that and when you're at your worst.
Mm.
That Jelly Roll song. It's I only talk to God when I need a favor.
Mhm.
You don't think when you're at your worst, like, God planned this for me. This is a part of everything. When you think
Yeah.
your worst, you're like, oh, God's abandoned
Yeah.
me. This is ridiculous. How could he do this to me? How could I be here?
But
But all
those.
of it's a part of a part of the plan.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And to that point, it's those are the same people that are, when you're asking for strength, God isn't going to magically make you stronger. he's gonna put something in front of you that will. That's my belief as at least is that he'll put the obstacle in front of you, and it's your job to then conquer it or let it conquer you, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, your life is at the end of the day, your life is for him. So you're
Yeah.
doing whatever you're doing. It's something that he put you up to. So
Yep.
yeah, you got to do your best to please the coach, please the big man.
Yeah, please the coach. I love that. Please the coach. I know. All right. All right.
Yep.
So in that, what do you do for work? Like, school, job, businesses.
Yeah. So me and Eric, the Pivotal View CEO. We went to high school together. He was a football player. I was a hockey player.
That's right.
We both were decent for our teams, we could say. Eric probably better than me at football, but whatever. Um, we are. I'm in college now. I'm about to graduate in come Christmas time, and then I just when I was a freshman in college, I started working in the tile industry, and
Hmm.
then when I was a sophomore, I made my own business out of it, and I've just been running that since, and I probably will continue to run that, and maybe branch a little bit more into some bigger ventures, but
Mm.
stick on that same path.
Okay.
Just keep working harder than everybody else, and
Yes, sir.
putting the smile and the work ethic to work.
Yes, sir. Hey, and if you guys want to know how good of a man this guy is right here, I have the utmost respect for this guy right here. He helped me when I was in a bad spot. He gave me an opportunity tiling, and I actually tiled for like 2.5 years or so. And yeah, I don't know if I ever
Yep.
said that I appreciate you for that, man. I really do. You really did help me out in that time.
Hey, did I? I've gotten a lot of good reviews on Eric, and everyone likes him. Everyone loved him in high school. So I think the fact that you're doing something like this now is really fitting. I know you've done a lot of other things. Like your YouTube and everything. You're a super fun guy. You're just a personality that guys and gals like to be around. So it's good to see. I know um, I kind of do this as well. One thing I admire in you is, even if you have it's hard to do this Twitch right now with,
Yeah.
and we're putting our effort in. It's more you. I'm the first guest ever, which
Yeah,
I don't
dude.
really care.
Congratulations.
It's an honor, but for you, it's, this is your baby. So
Yeah.
to put your baby out there, and we have one guy listening or something. Uh, Someday everyone's gonna say, "Holy shit, Eric did it! This is, he brought it up from the ground up," which is awesome. And it's hard to do, to stick your neck out there and start a Twitch stream, or stick your neck out there and do a YouTube and go all in. But that's what I love about you, is you go all in on everything. So I know when one of these days, and I think it might be this Twitch, they're gonna hit and it's gonna stick, and you'll be to the moon, and then we'll all be back here saying, I
Amen.
knew he was gonna hit
Hey.
it once. He kept swinging for the home run bomb. So you'll hit one of these days, no doubt.
That's me, man. I'm a home run kind of guy. Hey, and maybe one day we can have our own in
Yeah,
lit.
dude. Why not? You could make a decent career in the minor leagues off of base hits,
That,
or in little league off of base hits. But one home run, and everyone in the stands, everyone on the field, they all think you're a legend. So
yep.
you might
Who?
strike out a couple times, but just having the courage to get back up and do it again, that's the hard thing.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man.
But that's what you do well.
Yeah, man. You got to. Life's always gonna push you down,
Yeah.
man.
So how long is how long has the pivotal view been a thing, and what's your like mission as a podcast or as a Twitch?
The pivotal view has been a thing for I want to say about a year, 2 years. There was definitely a big break in between because I had a group and we kind of broke off, went our separate ways, and I let that affect me in not pursuing it anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
I also changed this uh, the way that I run it a little bit. And my main goal now is really just to impact young men, like young men, even men that might be older. Like I want to instill a confidence in a man where he can go out into the world and he can understand that's okay to, feel your emotions, but it's also okay to, like you said, be a hard ass. Be very stern with your
Hmm.
words. Be confident. And yeah, that's my biggest goal from this. Even if it only reaches, say it reaches 25 people, one of those 25 people reaches 1,000 people, one of those 1,000 people reaches 1,000,000 people. I like to think of it like the
Right. Yeah, for sure.
it's like the butterfly effect. It's like there's a butterfly that flapped its wings in Puerto Rico, and that set a fire, which then went into the world. What, you know what I'm saying? It's that one little flap of wing that can change a whole perspective, can change a
Gotcha.
whole life. So that's how I look at this, baby.
Yeah, I think like manhood is something that's just so far, you know, so far waning and waxing and waning in the society today.
Yeah.
I Yeah, I admire that. I think manliness is now like becoming an art. There's a podcast I followed the other day. It's called The Art of Manliness,
Really.
and I was like, wow, this is an art now.
it.
So it used to just be, being a stand-up guy, standing for your word, standing for your family, your faith, all that, and now it's become like an art form because it's almost lost. Kind of like tiling. We both know that.
Yeah.
Everyone used to be able to do their own tile, and then people get lazy, and then all of a sudden, me and you are considered artists, and people
Yeah.
want to pay us a lot of money to do something that everyone used to be able to do. So
Completely. No, that's
yeah, I mean that's kind of with manhood. It's we got a lot of simps running around. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, the Simps are doing their work, man. It's disgusting. To me personally, it's disgusting. So
Yeah, yeah.
what is your definition of, like, what would you define man and manhood? Like, how would you define that in your own words? Just
Mm. Yeah, I would say being a man is, I'd say it's based off of respect, and I think it goes both ways. If you're a man, you demand respect from others just in the way that you carry yourself,
hmm
and if you're a man, you're going to give respect to others that deserve it. Um, I don't think that people who don't deserve respect should get it.
hmm
Um, and I think that's up to the guy, to the person who's gonna give any respect or receive any. You have to
yeah,
be the type of man that's true to his word and will garnish and draw respect out of people naturally. That is what a man is to me. When I meet new guys, or you meet new guys, this guy's, when you give him a good handshake and look him in the eye, I feel like I can tell
yeah,
this guy's a snake, or this guy's likely pretty true to his word and is a good guy. I think that is what, when you see a guy and you're like, I don't know this guy, but I'm going to respect the hell out of him because he might be older, wiser, whatever, or he's my age, but I know he thinks just like me.
yeah,
That's what I would consider a man. And it's like, someone who, this is a genuine character that's, not going to fold. I think that's that. And I think manhood really is a community. I think that
hmm
it's, men today are more, you know, I guess it's, if you look back, like, back into the history of evolution and
yeah,
everything, or, um, animals and nature, really, look back into nature, males do tend to travel alone because wolves are trying to get the pack of females or whatever. They're competitors.
yes,
So
sir.
you instantly, I saw this thing. It was funny. It was I think it was a boxer. It might have been like Jake Paul related. I don't know, but it
Okay.
was something about when you first see a man, you first encounter, you say you meet my friend or I meet your friend. The first thing that crosses my mind is, can I beat him in a physical altercation?
I can
And
attest to
I don't know
that.
about you, but that does cross my mind like a lot. So
Yes.
it like that's not even like, I'm not really. a violent person. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say. I mean, we're
Yeah.
both contact sport players, so we're definitely competitive, more competitive than most.
Yeah.
But like that's like a hardwire thing in our brain. I think that today so many people forget what has happened in nature for millions and millions of years.
Yeah.
Males have gone after females for reproductive rights, and it's been competitive. And I think that people today, want males to be these soft, cushy, teddy bears
Yeah.
when
Soy
we're
boy
the wolves
action.
with our fangs out, ready to scratch it out. Yeah. So, um, it's definitely men are meant to go to war. I think it's better to be a what is it? Better to be a warrior in a
Yes.
garden than a gardener in a war.
Yes. Yes. I
So
heard
I
that
think that
from.
we got a lot of warriors. Yeah, I think we got a lot of warriors that have been in the garden for so long that they think it's weird to be a warrior and they'll just be a gardener.
Hmm. I like
Because
that.
there's not that in society today. There's not many chances to, this not, you don't have to, if you don't want to fight people or if you don't want to really get after it, scratch and claw for success, you don't have to. You can be okay with being the gardener in the garden.
Okay.
That's
So
even encouraged, honestly. They don't
yeah.
want many warriors.
Yeah. No they don't. Cause it's the easiest thing to manipulate is a weak society, and the only way to make a society weak is if you make the men weak in that society. Cause men are the ones that stand
Yep.
up for
Yeah, I think.
truth. Yeah.
Yep.
Like
I think
a
that also like
rebellion.
in the nuclear. Right.
I was just gonna.
Like that, we could be looking at that soon. Like I'm at, think about the upcoming election and stuff, or, um, they're talking about bringing COVID back, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I think the guy. I think we sent each other the video actually, but the commentator, he's got leaks from CIA operatives or
Yep.
something that COVID's going to be coming back mid
Yeah.
September. Like that pretty much calls for an uprising
No.
in my book.
No.
But
Me as
well,
well.
I guess we'll see who we have to call on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me as
So we'll
me.
see what kind of we're dealing with.
I heard. I don't know if you saw, but I don't know if you saw the Tucker Carlson interview, but he was talking about that they're not like COVID has been. We've there. COVID has already been kind of. We know what's happening with COVID. I think a majority knows. So he says that the next thing that coming is war with Russia. U.S. war with Russia. That's what he says the next thing is.
Hmm. Yeah.
He says it's we figure
I
we've caught
mean,
on to too much.
yeah, I'm a big fan of Tucker. I don't know. I so honestly, dude, might sound crazy. I think Putin might be a good guy.
I think Putin.
Like,
No,
as
I do
crazy as
too.
it is, everyone's saying Putin this, Putin that, he's a horrible guy, whatever, whatever. I mean, everything that I hear from mainstream media, and I don't think that I've heard much from Tucker that Putin's a horrible person,
Yeah.
but everything that I hear from CNN is saying Putin's horrible. Everything I hear from Biden is Putin's horrible. This,
Yep.
that, we got to stop this tyrant, whatever. Makes me more in my head think Putin might just be a normal guy trying to mind his own damn business, and we're using him for something, you
Yeah.
know. So, and you know what war does for the economy and for the Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yep.
Uh, it's
Haha.
great for that. It's great for them. It is absolutely great for them. So I'm wondering if we're just if this is just a huge, you know, the wolves being pulling over our eyes. But so pretty much everything I see in the news, or the little bit that I do try and pay attention to, I'm just like, why would they tell me this? And then what is like really going on? Because there's no way they're gonna tell me and everyone else what's actually going on.
Danny, wait a second, bro.
Something's
Danny,
being
stop.
held back.
Stop, Danny. Are you trying to say that you do constructive thinking? Are you trying to say that you think for yourself,
Yeah,
bro?
I know. I have a brain, Eric.
No,
It's
no,
crazy. Isn't that
no.
nuts? I have a brain and I think for
Stop.
myself.
Stop that. No, stop right now, bro. We
Yeah.
can't. We can't do that. No, I've seen a lot of.
Yeah. Well,
What's up?
no, I mean, I was just. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, y'all good. Um, have you seen the smart cities that are being implemented? Have you seen those?
Yeah, bro.
Did you see the? Are you seeing the
So is that the
correlation?
same as a fifth? Is that the same as a 15 minute? A 15-minute city is considered a smart city, where
I
everything is within 15 minutes of that you need.
yes, yes. I did. Have you seen that?
Okay, so you wouldn't have to ever leave. That is what they're saying. Is
Yeah,
you don't really need a car. Everything's right within arm's reach. That sounds like a
exactly.
prison cell to me, or like more like a prison facility.
Yeah,
I
prison
mean,
camp. It's
in
prison
our
camp.
school, it would take me 15 minutes to get from one end to another. Yeah, I mean that's fucking ridiculous in my opinion.
Ridiculous.
And I really hope that's not what's happening in Maui, because I know that they had a convention there in Maui talking about that, and they wanted to do it to the islands, and
Mm,
then all of a sudden the whole thing burns down.
really?
So
They had a convention?
yeah, I don't. Yeah, they
I.
had some. I saw a article about it. They had a
Oh my goodness.
smart city like a conference out there about it.
I
So
did.
yeah, it is really. I want to be on my own property and be able to get in my car and drive for 15 minutes without having to leave. That's how big I want my property to be. I don't want my neighbors within 15 minutes, let alone the whole city. Hell no.
No, that sounds like actual hell. It does. I
Yeah.
agree with that
God.
100%. Have you seen the correlation?
Yeah.
Have you seen the correlation between fires that are happening not only in the United States, in other states, not just Hawaii, but also in like Greece and other countries where these smart cities are also being implemented in the exact spots? Have you seen that?
No, so I haven't seen that. I know the Canadian wildfires. I was a big uh I was really interested in those train derailments.
Okay. Okay.
And like the East Palestine, all
Yes.
that stuff.
Yes,
So
sir.
I definitely think those Canadian fires, as someone who's lived in Canada and
Okay.
kind of knows a little bit more about the insides over there and about their government, uh, I don't trust those Tim Hortons drinking hippies for any. I don't trust them at all. So uh, I do love the people of Canada. Their government, though, I cannot. I
Yeah.
don't trust it at all. So um, I think that we were subject to some chemicals from the burns up there
Hmm.
that were not natural to wildfires. And just like in East Palestine, Ohio, when they released that chemical, it hit the water, it got into everyone's food. And it was, um, God, what was it? It was tested, and that specific chemical was able to come back as some sort of a tracer, or
Hmm.
definitely dangerous to the people's health of East Palestine,
Hmm.
and uh, made people super sick. So I think we got a minor dose of that from all this wildfire smoke that we've had this summer.
Hmm.
Because I've seen several videos that have gone viral of Canadians out there, and they're saying there's no reason we should be having wildfires. This is making no sense, let alone, there's videos of helicopters dropping water on the fires, and 5 minutes later, the fire's twice as big.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely some shady stuff going on. I've heard rumors that they were burning garbage, which, if we're the ones then getting that air, it's a huge issue. But I
Mm-hmm.
kind of have an interesting story. So we haven't adopted, but we took in two foster this summer. So
Oh,
we were a family of
nice.
six. Now we got two little kids. One 2-year-old who's got some. She was abused by her father when she was like an infant,
Oh,
if you can believe
jeez.
that. So she's got issues with her right arm and right leg, and then she has um, some severe brain damage. But her
Jeez,
younger
man.
brother is he just turned 8 months, but we got him when he was, I kid you not, this big.
Jeez, man.
And
Baby,
so
baby.
when we had that bad wildfire smoke, he was super The first time we got a bad wave of wildfire smoke, we had to bring him into the ER
Oh.
because we didn't think he could breathe. So maybe he's a different baby. Maybe he's got more allergies or asthma or something. But I did know for sure that to the people who are, um, not 100%, he's a preemie baby. So he would definitely not be 100%. Anyone who's got breathing issues, that air was a big problem. And I'm thinking it's more than just smoke. Because I spent plenty of time around a bonfire and stuff like
Yeah,
that, or
completely.
seen wildfires and been through that. I think that there was something more there with that. So I'm curious to see why spreading around these chemicals is important. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering if they're able to like attach COVID or the next virus to that. And that's what
Okay.
I heard in East Palestine is that those chemicals were traceable to a virus that they were able to spread and control amongst the population,
Oh
which
my
is
goodness.
terrifying. But also this is
Oh yeah,
tinfoil hat conspiracy, but
completely.
um, I
Hey,
think that I think that it's a not past the possibility. It's pretty crazy. And then
that's
also aliens are real now, which
yeah, yeah. That came out of nowhere.
I still don't really understand that. Like, what kind of a play was that? I'm wondering what they were trying to cover up with that. You got Elon Musk who says otherwise, so I trust him, I would guess.
Yeah, right. I guess that's the hard part, man. That's everybody will call you a conspiracy theorist, but I mean, conspiracy theorists have been right for the past years, so you know,
Yeah,
you can't say
yeah, it's
anything's
crazy.
not
I
true,
don't want to I don't want to be right. I really don't want to be right, but
and that's the thing.
like I went to Hawaii this I went to Hawaii this last year for spring break,
Yeah.
and I know Kauai is just north of Maui, but it gets 140 inches of rain a year. It's it's the wettest place on Earth, I believe, the top of Kauai, um, and just seeing the Hawaiian Islands, Kauai. I guess I can't speak 100% for Maui, but it's not too far away from Maui. You're not lighting a forest fire in Hawaii, in my
No.
opinion. I think you could have a very small forest fire, but everything there is so green and so
Mm.
like if
Alive.
you we did a lot of long hikes. It's so green. And
Mm.
if any Boy Scouts out there, anything that green just not want to burn. And there's not prairies of straw.
Yeah.
It is
Right.
freaking tropical, thick, and it's a jungle.
And it's
It is
alive.
absolute jungle, and
Yeah.
it's not dry, and let alone when there's a hurricane on the ocean. A hurricane on the ocean is going to bring in a lot of water. One, it's a hurricane. I believe a hurricane is it's almost intrinsic that it's going to be raining heavily.
Yes.
I found that extremely interesting that a hurricane, obviously high winds with fire does cause it to spread, but
I.
all other things considered, for it to burn cars down to the ground
Yes.
that
That's.
were
I was
in
gonna
the middle
just
of the
bring that
road, like
up.
not even like roads aren't gonna burn, like they're just gonna smolder and get really hot.
Yes.
But these cars look like they got nuked. I mean, it looks like freaking Hiroshima went off there. I mean, it's crazy. So I don't, for that to all be a fire is weird.
It no, it truly is weird, and I just seen before. So I don't know how true this is. I did no research because I just seen before we hopped on this podcast. But I saw that there was a transactional call between this like the CIA and the Marines, and apparently they were throwing and it was intercepted, and they were throwing the bodies that were found into a mass grave.
Holy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
crazy. I feel bad for the people of Hawaii.
I
Such
do too, man.
really amazingly nice people. And oh, it's so gorgeous there. I hope to God that they all get their land back. They all deserve it back.
Yeah.
If they had been there
Did you hear what
in
the
Hawaii, like the Ohana,
have you heard what the
go
land
ahead.
have you heard what the land developers said to them? Like the land developers came in and
Yeah, so
they were like, "Oh, we'll buy your land for you. We'll buy it for you. You don't have to worry about it. Here." Like they weren't trying to say, "Here's help. Here's
right.
here." Like they were like, "We'll take your land. We'll give you money." But that's not what they
Yeah.
want.
So land in Hawaii is the homes that burn to the ground are likely worth nothing,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, in comparison to how valuable that land is. When you get there and see the beauty of Hawaii, you then realize how awesome it is and how valuable that land is. And that land is very minimal because it's so
Yeah.
mountainous. There's only a few spots on these islands. Like no, I mean, in Kauai, no, hardly anybody. I don't think anyone lives in the middle of of the island because you're on a
Really.
freaking huge mountain. It's so rugged you can't even get up there. Like you can't even. It's so treacherous you can't even do a full circle around the island.
Jeez.
I mean, there's just like straight cliffs going into the ocean, and then you have these huge mountains and huge, um, you got waterfalls, huge ravines, crazy terrain, absolutely crazy terrain. So yeah, most of the homes like Lahaina that got nailed, and I
Yeah.
know a mutual friend of ours, Lee, is super
Yeah.
tight and super um, informed on Lahaina. Like Lahaina is a huge part of Maui and one of the most coveted places to be, and then the whole place gets mowed down. But you know, is Lahaina the most densely packed area for trees and burnable things? I don't think so of the whole island, but it's the only part that got really nailed,
Yeah.
and it's obviously the part that everyone wants. So that's what's crazy. And then like Oprah, it's just snatching up land like crazy, and she's getting such good prices on it.
Yep.
I just for shits and giggles was looking for land prices in Hawaii on Kauai because after I went there, I was like, I just want to know the price so I can work towards that price, just to see like I need however many million to have a place
Yeah.
here, dude. Just for a spot for like a neighborhood house there, which there ain't many neighborhoods, but
Yeah.
just like a 0.3 acre lot. It's like 1.2 million. No ocean view. If you're anywhere near the ocean, you're freaking $3 million just to build the house there.
Yeah.
So imagine every one of these places in Lahaina with all these locals that they just burnt to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Are those developers offering them 3 million for their stake?
No.
No, and I highly doubt the people want that.
Yeah,
They
they
want to just live there and with their house in peace.
yeah, their land to them it's they're not worried about money. They're worried their land is sacred to them,
Yeah,
especially in that part. I've done a
yeah,
lot of I've watched some documentaries about it, and cuz I didn't understand the like the concept of like why it was so sacred to them and kind of like what they hold. But I'm like they're the people of Lahaina are the probably some of the last people in the western culture to truly be living, you know? Like they're fine with working and then going into nature and
yep,
enjoying nature, being one with nature. And that might sound like hippie and everything, but that's more living than working every single day of your life so that one day you might be able to retire.
yeah.
In my personal.
So the one thing I took from Hawaii, like my experience there, is they are not like they like they like tourists because it brings the industry,
Yep.
but they're kind of like, you know, they'll take your money throughout the day and they'll be nice and they'll love you and everything.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like if you're gonna reshape or restructure or hinder their experience of Hawaii as it was for their great grandfather and his great grandfather, they're not for it.
Nope.
So, I was surfing there and it is like I was warned before I went. Like if you see locals, it's there. Like you cannot be stepping on their toes. You can't be
Yeah.
dropping in. Like it's extremely, extremely sacred to them.
Yeah.
Like the waters and the land there is everything to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously something like this is just horrible. But Eric, Joe said I'm $700, so they're fine. They could go down to the supermarket supermarket, buy a gallon of milk, a pineapple juice, and a coconut for $700, and they'll maybe do that a couple times, and their money's gone. So
Yeah.
they'll be fine. $700, they'll be good for about 2 weeks. But let's send another 700 million or
Yeah.
billion to
Yeah.
Ukraine.
That was absurd. Absurd.
Give me a break.
And the thing is, I, I, I don't understand how, like, me and you, we know successful people, man. I know people, like, we know people with millions of dollars. We know
No,
people,
yeah,
even we know people, not people, but we know a person with he might have a B in his name and he might have a B in his bank account too. Um,
yep,
but I'm not gonna say his name.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but like, what are,
yeah.
like, I look at this, and I'm like, what are they? What are, like, maybe I don't see it, but like, I feel like these are the people that need to be implementing like some structure of getting this word out and having the people understand. Do you think that is a selfish thing, or do you think it's they work for their money and they shouldn't have to deal with this?
So you're saying why don't the maybe not the
Yeah,
uh
not the elite people,
so
but
I think that like the elite, like, so yeah, there's the elites that are running it and
exactly.
likely making these poor decisions, but you think that there's a lower tier
Yeah,
but likely more people
exactly.
that could, with very a lot of power and influence, that could stand up and say, hey, this isn't right.
Yeah, like, even if you look in like
What
Grand
I think
Rapids.
is right. Yeah, I think that it's I don't think that I think those people have a lot more on the line. They have
Yeah, they do.
many, many, many employees under them. They have many, 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 many families that rely on his success, his business's success, or hers
Yep.
business's success, and that's going to feed, how many families. So
Yeah.
I know it seems easy to say, why don't they come
No,
forward and
completely.
speak out and be bold, kind of how we are. But we don't, me and you, what do we really have to lose? I don't have
Yeah,
anything to, I don't have too much to lose. You don't have too
completely.
much to lose. So, but, that's what's cool. What I find super cool about Rogan is he's built a platform on, that's the thing that he does. And that's why he's rich, which is super cool. So I think you're maybe calling more Joe Rogans to come to the plate. I think that's true. I think Dana White,
Yeah.
um, you know, who's the Peterson. These guys are all putting
Their
their
necks
necks
out there.
out there, but that's why they're getting paid, is because
Mm.
really I think where the real power lies is in people like me or you, but we need all of us to do it. And I think, like, look at the Bud Light thing. Look
Yeah.
at the Oliver Anthony song. It's number one.
Yeah.
Number one. He filmed it in
That.
his backyard. It's over Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Bud Light's down 88% or whatever, $18 billion. Like, they're about ready to freaking croak over.
Yeah.
People are fed up. People, and that's the mass. That's the masses. So I think that's what the real power is. I just think, um, I think we just need to be given that opportunity, or they need to overstep a little bit more. And
Mm.
the power is in the people for sure.
Completely. I
And
believe that. Yeah.
I've kind of thought about it. Like, if there were to be a revolution, how would it go down?
Yeah.
Um,
That was my next
and
question,
I
actually.
can't say that I know,
Oh, okay.
but all I know is I'll be there.
Hey, I'll be right by your side, brother. I swear, man.
Yep.
That's the thing is, I rather die a man that I stood up for my right, what I believe, than a man that was a coward when it was time for me to stand up. You know, that's just my personality, man.
Yeah.
And I definitely know that's yours as
Yeah.
well.
That's the thing, that it's right. Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get. I hope it's not like like a how they did it in 1776, where
Yeah.
it's like a small little battle or war or something like that. I hope it's not like that, or a civil war or anything like that. But I think it will be like, it might come down to just participation in anything. Like, hey, are you gonna pay your taxes, or are you gonna go to work? And
Yeah.
if we all just say no, I mean, does it not come to a grinding halt? Come to my house, beg for my money. Like,
Mhm.
are they gonna do that to every single house? I don't. I don't know. It's like if we stop, if we feed the system clearly because they're
Yes.
raking it off our backs, I can feel it.
Yeah.
So without us, they don't really have anything. But if we just kind of say, yeah, no, we're done. That's why I hate that cash is becoming more scarce. I hate that they want to know our wallets. They want to kryptonize everything. I like
Yes.
cryptocurrency, but they want to know, they want all of our money off of our phone.
Exactly.
Well, shit, if they have access to all of our bank accounts and we want to just not participate and do our little revolt, they're just going to take it out anyways.
Yep.
So, we need to have our independence when it comes to finance and everything, because if we just decide that, hey, we're done doing this, I think that they're in a huge pickle.
Yeah.
So they need us more than we need them for
There's
sure.
there's definitely not much. There's definitely not much they can do if we all do that. And I always bring this analogy up. Is like, yeah, are we still in the level, do you think, where we can try to untangle our rope, or do we need to cut it? You know, like that's because like
Yeah.
we've been trying to untangle it because we have built something good and beautiful, especially in
Right.
America, with the amount of diversity we have and the technology we have, like that will all,
Hmm.
like, what do you think about that?
Yeah. So what you said, I like that. It's a quote. It's I gave you too much rope and you hung yourself, or I gave
Mm-hmm.
you too much leash and you hung yourself. So you
Mm-hmm.
let the dog walk on a short leash. The saying like, "Hey, I got him on a short leash." That's like when a coach has got Eric on a short leash. He's watching you like you're not making one step out of line.
Yep.
Well, if coach lets the leash out, no, yeah, you can go do this, go do that, whatever. I'm not going to watch you like a hawk.
Mm.
That's when you slip up, and then it's the old saying, I gave him too much leash and he hung himself. So
Yeah.
I think how that happens is what with us in this situation, I think we've given the government way too much leash
Mm.
over the course of many, many, many small millimeters.
Yeah.
I think it
Mm-hmm.
started like the Constitution said. Our government is supposed to be small. It's supposed to be localized. Like
Yep.
our problems should not be getting solved by Joe Biden. They should be getting solved by buddy that I know from down the road who works at who got, who's the mayor of the town. He
Yep.
should be the guy, or the police chief, or the sheriff. Like those, like small local. He knows the problems. He knows this town. He knows the city. That's the guy that we should be calling on, not Sleepy Joe
Yeah.
in Washington D.C. way away. And not every town's the same. Not every city is the same. They don't need all the same governance. That's why. So that's what the Constitution states. That's how it wants it to be.
Yeah.
But the you know we're all busy trying to make our lives do everything. We kind of let the government. We don't think that I'm Danny Nelson, I'm just a guy, I'm in control of the government, but the people are in control of the government, and we let them slowly, inch by inch by inch by inch by inch,
Mm-hmm.
take that leash out. And every inch that they take out, they aren't gonna give back to us.
Yeah.
So all that power that they're gaining over us by slowly scooching that, we look at it and we're like, holy shit, our government's a mess. We've let out way too much leash, and we can't take it back, and now we're about to hang ourselves. So I don't know really the way out, but
Yeah.
all I know is it won't last like this much longer. And I'm really interested to see what happens in this next election, but I'm going to try and stay, I'm obviously going to do what I want and try and influence people in the way that I hope that I think is the best for the country,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to, you know, lose friends or anything over it, or go after people that I know are too far gone.
Yep.
Um, I think it's just important to have that be a small portion of your life. I think the last election I let it be way too big of a piece of my life, and I
Wow.
remember opening my Instagram and it was just like 45 to 50 DMs of people trying to roast me, people saying I love you, you're the best, thanks for sharing, or people wanting
Yep.
my head on a plate. So I'm not going to do that this time around, but I'm definitely going to, you know, support what I feel is right.
Yeah. No, like everybody should, and I can relate to that. I definitely let the last election get to me, and I think it was a state of me like, wow, this is so bad. I need to make a change. Like I need people to understand this. Like I want people to
Right.
understand this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to help. I want to help. But what you have to, I feel like what I learned was that the only people that want to be helped are already helping themselves.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
really
like you
are.
can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I
Exactly.
feel like that's. I mean, the thing is though, like, look at Bud Light, look at Target. Target's been freaking nuked. They got
Yep.
no sales. They're trying to sell freaking transgender clothes to 3-year-olds.
Yeah, that was
Um,
absurd.
like the majority is definitely there.
Yeah.
So I think that we're good, and that's why I don't really want to waste my time and make it any more polarizing with the freaks at college who think that um, I should dye my hair purple and cut my dick off. Like I don't. I'm not even going to waste my time on those people, and I think that I don't know if we need them. I think
Yeah.
that um, I think that the the Republican people, the conservative people who are hardcore American and just want freedom and a fair, a fair place to live. I think that we're like the big kid in school who's afraid to talk and say
Mm.
anything, but he's the biggest, most powerful person in the school if he
Yeah.
were to need to put it to use. And I think that the freak um,
Yeah.
progressives who are out doing all of this craziness in the streets, coming after the kids, rainbows tattooed on their forehead. Those people, I think that they're the little kid who's got the megaphone, and they're making it
Yeah.
seem like they've got all the power when
Completely.
in reality they're just it. There's not that many of those people around. I don't, in my opinion. I think if you take the whole nation, I think that a small corner of the earth is these purple-haired freaks, uh, you know, with
Yeah.
rainbow flags, and I think that the news and the media makes it seem like that's everywhere. This is
Yeah.
everywhere. No, I think it's just downtown in the inner cities, in the in the cities, and
Yeah.
the cities make up not much of not all of America. I think that the big kid in the back who's quiet, which is us, needs to, as a group, stand up and say, this is enough. We're taking over.
No, I completely agree with that. The only thing is that you have your purple haired, right? And like that's a very small majority. I agree with that. But then you also have your people, like your everyday people like me and you that are going to work and they're doing all that, but at the same time they still believe that that's okay. Like we live in such an accepting
Right.
society, like everything needs to be
Yeah.
accepted where that's where I kind of see, and that's where I get nervous. Where it's like, when are we gonna stop accepting? You know?
Yeah. So this is actually, I just in college today. I've got one more semester left. I'm in
Congratulations.
my persuasion class, and we're reading this police case. This guy broke into a school with an AR-15 with 500 rounds of ammunition. He
Jeez.
or Yeah, 500 rounds of ammunition. So he goes into the office and he's like, "Hey, this is a school shooting." Um, Whatever. And the lady in the office is like, "You don't want to do this, blah, 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 blah." So as this is happening, this guy is shooting at police officers out the window and he's talking to the secretary. Well, the secretary, amazingly for her, talks him out of doing the school shooting. And the guy starts to realize, he's like, "I should have just gone to the hospital. I'm mentally unstable. I'm off my meds. Can you help me? Um, I don't want to do this. I don't want to hurt anyone. Can you tell the cops to come in and, you know, take me away, but don't have them shoot. I'm going to leave my gun right here, blah, blah, blah." And so then we had a vote in the class. The sentence was 20 years in prison for this guy. And
Yeah.
it was, do you agree with this sentence or do you not? And almost the whole class, except for me and another girl, agreed that 20 years was too severe for the punishment. And there was me and this other girl who said 20 years is a plenty. We would actually want more, and we didn't consider the death penalty.
Mm.
And our reasoning was, don't come after our cops, don't come after our kids.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really mentally unhealthy, you should have gotten help before you go to try and shoot up a school.
Yeah.
And like once you're to the point where you're in a school with a gun, that's a huge strike. And the other strike is you're shooting live rounds at police officers. You're
Yeah.
done.
You're done.
If I was running it, like you're erased, you're done. You're either away for life or death penalty. And everyone in this class is saying he just needs mental help. He needs
Mm.
someone to talk to. Blah blah blah. Well, where does that end?
Yeah.
Is if every mentally unhealthy person was okay to go into a school with a gun,
Yeah. Right.
we what kind of country is like what are these rules? At some point, enough is enough. We need to not be so soft and say, listen,
Yeah.
we know it's a tough world out there. I get it. We've all been through it. We know what it's like. There's abuse, there's horrible things. We get it. If you ever come into a school with intent to kill,
Yeah. You're
you're
done.
done.
You're
If you
done.
ever shoot at an officer with intent to kill, you're done.
How is that even a
Like that, those
question?
things shouldn't. And everyone was on the other side of the room than me, and I was like, "This is crazy. Like, why are we letting an absolute liability to society? Why are we going to take a chance on him when
Yeah.
we got 500 liabilities in the elementary school who have their whole life ahead of them, and then we got 45 police officers who are total
Yeah.
assets to asset. The children are assets, sorry, and the police officers are assets. Why would we risk any of their lives for someone who can't get it together, and
Yeah.
for a liability? I mean, it's kind of like it's once again goes back to nature. I wanted to say it in class, but
Hmm.
the wolf with the rabies or bad disease, like he gets left out in the woods to die by himself. He
Yeah.
doesn't stay with the pack.
Nope.
It's the survival of the fittest, and we're thinking that our least fit individuals, not actual fitness, I'm
Yeah.
talking ideology, mental health,
Yeah.
all these other morals, we're trying to boost them to the top like they're some super athlete or super predator. Like,
Yeah.
no, we need our real super athletes and heroes to be at the front of society, and we need these weirdos back at the back trying to keep up.
Yeah. If you can't
Like,
keep.
I think everything's turned around. Like, the weirder you are today, the higher your street cred is. It's like, what? Why?
No, complete. No, it is. It's completely backwards, and that brings a great point, a great uh, switch to conversation to be is that's the danger of weak men. Weak men are.
Yeah.
I mean, weak men are violent. Like,
Yep.
and they want control. Like, all a man wants to do is feel powerful and in control. Like, we're very
Yep.
simple. And if you have a man that's weak and doesn't know what he wants, he's gonna make a rash decision to feel some sort of power. And I don't see how they didn't see that in that class. That's absurd. Were they so can I ask is your class a majority male or female?
It's about split,
Oh, it
but
is.
I would
Okay.
say, uh, yeah, it's about split. I would say
Okay.
maybe 40% male, 60% female.
Cuz
But yeah, I mean, I was kind of taken back by it. I was like,
yeah.
it's
Cuz I was
and you know what I was thinking also is these people who are saying that he needs mental help and all of this are the same people who are saying we don't need guns
yeah.
and all of this. Well, this is this is exactly what you get when you take away guns.
Yep.
So it's interesting.
Because their
I don't
logic
I don't
their
know all the answers, but
their logic turns off if you notice where they're like well, if we just in law, if guns are illegal, then a criminal won't get a gun. But it's like it's a criminal.
yeah, same girl that was talking. Same girl, dude. This is true from today. Um, the girl who was beside me
Yeah.
got robbed at gunpoint at MSU. She's working a tanning salon at MSU and got robbed at gunpoint by a homeless man.
Damn.
And she's like, "Yeah, we need guns." I'm like, "Fucking rights, let's go."
Damn well. Got mine.
Like, I'm sorry that had to happen to you for you to realize, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's the. I mean, it's you ain't gonna catch me without it. No
No.
way.
Completely, you can't. It's too unsafe of a world. And the thing is, I don't think a lot of women understand, especially women, that them saying these things and taking away these ways of protection only hurt them. Like
Yeah, 100%,
weak men hurt women. You're not gonna see a strong
100%.
man hurt a woman. Like
No, yeah, you're totally like they're endangering themselves,
they are,
which
and
is nuts. Same with what you know you want to be in high school and you want the weird kid from the back of the class to be in the same bathroom as you.
yeah, right.
If you're a girl, like, are you really you
No,
want that?
I saw.
Like, if anyone should be upset about it, I think it should be women, because
Yeah,
women's sports are soon to be, the B team for men's league. It's they have freaking Canadian swimmer, Canadian weightlifter,
yeah,
both males won gold, won the championship. What does that say to women? It's like, well, what sorry, you guys aren't good enough to win your own
yeah,
sex in
yeah,
this sport. Like, we need to bring in a crossover to spice things up. Like, that's an absolute joke.
yeah. No, I definitely feel for those women. I saw a video, and it was a woman, and she was like, "I would rather undress and change in the middle of the street than go into a room with like a transgender, like go into a locker room with a transgender."
Yeah,
Because most
yeah,
like I think women understand that most men do what they do to protect women. Like, I don't get a job. I don't want to be successful so that I can be independent of women. I want to get a job and be
right.
successful so that I can take care of my woman and my children as best as I can. And I don't think
Yeah,
that,
you're
and I think that's most
that's
men.
the whole reason that girls like that's the whole reason why girls love their husband, love their boyfriend, is they know that, they're with me. If something goes down,
Yeah.
there's at least a body between you and him, or you and it, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. There's a certain security. Like, that is being a man. Like, you're a protector. um and not that females just can't be out on their own and do it themselves,
Yeah.
which they totally can, but like, you need to know, like, and that's one thing that they don't know.
Yeah.
Like, when I first started dating the girl that I'm dating now,
Mhm.
she's 18, and she's a fitness model of all things, and she's out in Grand Rapids at like 9:30 on the sidewalk in a little dress, coming home from
Mm,
a dinner with her friends, and
yeah.
she then can't find her car. She parked 30 minute walk away. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
"Are you walking downtown right now and you're wearing this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm on my way."
Yeah,
uh
completely.
like, and they don't think anything of it, but I'm like, it's kind of like, men, you a lot of guys are like not cool with their girls to go out
Mhm.
and party when they're not there. Like, long distance relationship, she goes to a state school or something. Your girlfriend goes to Michigan State and she goes out. The guy at home is like, I'm not happy. I don't like this. They don't like it because they don't trust the girl. They don't like it because they know what's going through every other guy's head, because
Yeah,
they've been that guy.
right. Completely.
We don't get, like, if me as in a relationship right now, I'm not, this isn't my mindset, but if I'm not in a relationship, I see an attractive girl, I don't give I'm not gonna specifically ask before I proceed
Mhm.
if she has a boyfriend or what her romantic situation is. I'm just going.
Yeah.
Same with the wolf in the wild. He's not gonna ask, "Oh, are you hanging out with Tim Buck over there from the other side of the hill?" No, he's playing the moves. He's playing the game. He wants to win. That's why guys don't want their girls going out, because it's
it's
a game. It's a dog eat dog world
it
out there,
is it's
especially when it comes to women. So
yeah.
That's why it's
Uh,
not we're scared of what you know. It's we're scared of what the other guys know because we
yep.
know it in our own head. We're all alike. Men are alike. I mean, we're not. We're all the same creature. You know, we're not. We're all different in our own ways. But
Yeah.
that like hardwiring
Yep.
in your brain for all of us, I believe, is very similar and very
Yeah.
spreads across a big group of guys. I think
Yeah.
that a lot of those like natural instincts in our brains, I think that all of us have that.
It's yeah, and I believe it's just understanding which ones to pursue, right? So if you're a man that wants
Yeah,
power, are you gonna
knowing how to. Yeah, I mean,
are you gonna do power by
it's
force, or are
all
you
about
gonna
control.
start building yourself so that you can become a powerful man? And I think a
Yep.
lot, and it is like you said earlier, it's survival of the fittest completely. And one more thing to what you were saying was, with women, I believe that a lot of them are ignorant to real evil. Like me personally, like I don't know about you,
Hmm.
but I've been I've been jumped. Like I've been like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been walking down the street, and just
Oh yeah.
and like just absolutely like, I got my ass beat like straight up. And
Yeah.
like they people
Yeah.
didn't
Oh yeah.
and like I like a woman
No
doesn't
one
under
cares either.
yeah,
That's
no,
the thing.
they didn't give a shit, dude. Like people were like
Yeah, just
watching.
life goes on.
They were just watching, dude. I was
Yeah,
at it was at yeah. So I think that
that's the same thing.
yeah.
Dude, there's a herd of elk or something running, and you got the pack of wolves behind.
Yeah.
The slowest elk gets taken. You don't see the biggest, strongest elk from the front of the pack going, "Oh, I'm going to go help him out and fight off these wolves." I mean, you might see that like a weird
Yeah,
family
right.
relationship with some type of a herd animal, maybe. But
Yeah.
most of the times, you watch that on the Nature Channel, the one gets got.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Keep it moving." Thank God it wasn't me. That's
Completely.
that's what I think is the mindset of a lot of other people here, and I think that's a natural thing. I don't think that that's something.
Yeah.
I wish more people would turn around and say, "Hey, I'm going to go help him," or
Mhm.
whatever. But the instinct, like that's survival. It's fight or flee. I think we have a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of flee. If you flee, and the other guy's stuck to fight, it's his problem.
No, completely. Especially on that. That's just this. That's the cycle of life. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the.
Mm-hmm.
Especially.
That's what I have so much fun doing. Like in college, everyone they're trying to like reinstate a new like as if nature, anything that was competitive and natural to humans or biology, uh, or even just like animals, mammals,
Yeah.
all of us, anything with a heart. There's like some natural instincts. They want to erase all that.
Yeah.
Like they want, and I just don't. I tell them no. I say no. Most of my dude, you would just had the absolute hoot in one of my classes with me. Most of my classes are me absolutely be not berating, but just going after my professor and saying, "Why are you saying this? What is it backed by?"
Yeah.
And then I'll counter it with a million years of evolution and a million years of species and science to back it up and say this is what people, humans, mammals,
Yeah.
beating hearts have been doing for thousands and millions of years. We're going to just change it now?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not just going to change. We're hardwired to do certain things.
Hey, dude, and that's the.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
We don't,
completely.
you can't change that. And it's like, we're turning into like these limp wet noodles that what are we going to be good for here before any what are humans really going to be good for? We're going to have AI to do everything else.
Yep.
We got machines to do all out. Like what are we going to be really? Like where is the human race going? We've got to be as close to the end as we've ever been. Like what are we going to
Yeah.
be useful for?
Did you see
There's so many of us.
there was a AI and someone asked it like I think it was like the most advanced AI that we have or that the public has seen, and
Mm-hmm.
we asked what does the end of time for humans look like, and it went through the evolution, and at the end it was us, and we were wires. We were just wires. We weren't. We
Wires.
were wires.
Like we're the wires that go to the
We
computer or
yeah,
something.
we're the wires that go to the computer. But we're physical wires, and I don't know what that means. I just found that very like fascinating because that's
It's probably like a metaphor for something, or
yeah.
like to represent a bigger thing.
But the thing is like if
Yeah, dude, it's weird. Like, there's a lot of people who theorize too, like Avatar and everything. You know, they take a body and they can like incubate it and then
oh
make it,
yes yeah
go transfer it and stuff. Or
yeah
there's another film. It's I forget the name of it, but similar things where they like are using the energy of human bodies and then they can turn them on and off or like kind of put them into a hibernation.
yeah
Weird things, mind control and all
mind
that
control
stuff. But
everything.
yeah, I don't know.
There was a
Yeah, it's interesting, man.
no completely. Let me see if I had anything else on my current state. Oh yeah. To really get off of, so we talked about men's health, talk about the world. So last thing I wanted to do was just kind of, this one was more of like a businessy question, is just for the men that watch this that might want to start a business, what were kind of the key factors in you
Okay.
starting your business, and also what were the biggest challenges and what's the biggest reward from it?
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. Biggest reward is the best feeling in your chest when you get that check
Mm-hmm.
and you have the weekend ahead of you and you can do whatever you want. Your destiny is in your own hands 24/7. Um One of my worst ever things that I've ever gone through in my life would be playing sports. I played hockey at a high level. I played
Mm-hmm.
out of the country in Canada for a while. I was, I was into it. Um, and those are the type of teams where the team's performance was above all else. There was, players were just you were a pawn. You were not Danny Nelson. You were not Eric Grabo. You were a pawn in
Yep.
the system. And if we needed you to lay down your life and move on, we are gonna take your life and throw it
Yep.
out the window. We don't care. Thanks. We'll see you next year. Um, there was no hugs and kisses
Yeah.
in this industry, and the only way you can get a promotion is by pleasing one person. And that one person oftentimes is a smart guy who knows what he's doing, but often, sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're not right. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, their way to success and your way to success might both get you to success, but they might be totally different. And, you know, you, it's subjective.
Yeah.
So trying to prove to someone else that, hey, I'm worth this and I should be treated this way with respect because I'm worth this and I can do this. And then they say, no, you're not. And that's it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's the most frustrating thing in the world. You could be Eric Grabo, the top salesman at a company, and say, hey, I've been the top salesman here for 3 years. I have the management skills. Let me run this division. No,
Right.
that's the end of the story. Like, that's it. You can go find another job where you're
Yeah.
going to have to reprove yourself, do it all over again. Where if you're doing it yourself, there's no limit on where I can go or what I can do. That's what and I had recent thoughts of, maybe I'll go get some corporate experience. And then I hear, yeah, well, your supervisor. Yeah, well, your boss. Yeah, well, you got to do 2 years here just to
Yep.
pay your dues before we even think about promoting you. Well, I'm ready now. I want to go now. I
Exactly.
don't need to do 2 years to prove to you. I know in my heart that I'm in this game for the long haul. I don't need to do 2 years of bitch work to prove to you that I'm in it for the long haul. I know it in my
Mm-hmm.
heart. So for me, like whatever road I'm going to go down next, which is likely going to change here. Um, I know from the get go where I'm at as a human, as a man, as a human with that battle. Like I'm really up against it, or I'm fully juiced. I'm ready to tackle this. And then you can gamble on yourself, which is great. You don't, you're the amount of money you're bringing home is totally up to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks when there's days when your phone doesn't ring and you don't have any work to do and you're at home twiddling your thumbs and you're like, oh shit, I should just maybe go return pop cans today just so I make some money.
Yeah.
Or all I'm gonna do today is do laundry and work out and just wait for the phone to ring. Those days are absolutely terrifying because there's just as easy as it was today, there could be one tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Right.
So, you gotta be, that like the downfall is there's nothing really to fall back on but yourself. But you just got to be the kind of guy who's going to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and say, that's not going to be me.
Yes,
I'm going to
sir.
be top G. I'm going to be the guy. I'm the man. Let's go make it happen. If you're that guy, there's absolutely zero reason why you would put your fate in anyone else's hands outside of, I'm happy with making the money that I'm making. I like working with people. You know, I like my coworkers. I'm fine where I'm at. If that's you, that's great. But if you're really like wanting to get after it, and if you think like I'm one of those people, I think if I put my mind to something, there's no way anything
Yes,
between
sir.
that and me
Yeah.
is gonna stop me. I've had a million people say, "You're never gonna make that team, Danny. You're too small. You're not
Y-
fast enough."
yes, sir.
5 years later, I'm on the team. So it's like just those small things as a kid, I knew. And had to work harder than everyone. I had to do
Yeah.
all the shit that no one else wanted to do twice as hard, twice as often. But I got to where I was going. So it's like, why would I trade in when I know I have this power in me? Why would I let someone else be the judge of it? Other people have judged me. I'm sure other people have judged you your whole life and said, no, Eric, you're not professional enough. You're not tall enough.
Yep.
It's not going to work out. Sorry. Well, that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
If you're just gonna roll over, but fuck those people. You know it in your heart what you're capable of. Go do it. That's as simple as it is with business. And honestly, I think a huge part of being successful in life is the way you present yourself. I think you make or break your presence as a man, as a professional, as a businessman within the first 30 seconds. I
Oh
think
yeah.
you got to come across extremely well versed in your topic of study or
Yep.
topic of profession. Your physical appearance. If
Mm.
you're a tile guy, you should look like a tile guy. If you're a construction guy, you should look like a construction guy. I'm not saying you show up with a hard hat, but
Yeah.
if you're a construction guy and you show up looking like you never had a hammer before in your
Yeah.
hands, it's concerning. Uh, and third, I think
Some
physical
liberal fuck.
fitness. It yeah, like I think as weird as it sounds, look at really successful businessmen and businesswomen. They're either one really charming, two they're charming and fit,
Yep.
and they have great communication skills.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to, you want to be the guy that everyone wants to be around, just because they say, hey, this kid's a great kid, this guy's a great guy, he's gonna do you right, he's a fair guy,
Yeah.
and when they look at you, they say this guy looks like a winner. If you look like you just had a freaking glass of uh, you had a big pint of beer and a
yeah.
tub of Doritos before you came to the meeting, people are going to say, I don't really think this guy's a winner. They want the guy who's
Yep.
up early, had a half a pound of beef, 1,000 push-ups, 500 pull-ups, came to the meeting.
Yes,
That's what they
sir.
want. They want killers. They want winners.
They
So
do.
that's what I think. And honestly, if you're thinking about starting the business, just start it, and you don't need to legitimately start it. Do a
Mm-hmm.
couple trials. Like for me, for tile, I just did tile for my friends, and I
Hmm.
said, hey, your shower looks pretty old. Why don't you let me redo it? I'll give you a deal on it for sure, and
Yeah.
it'll be a favor for me. It'll be a favor for you. It's a win-win. And then I say, do I like this? Can I make money on this?
Yep.
Obviously, track everything. See where you can really exponential find that exponential growth in
Mm-hmm.
your profits, and find the areas like, hey, can I really make a lot of money doing this, or is this one of those things where it's just okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of times you'll see, hey, this is just okay. So don't go all in from the start. Get an LLC, get
Right.
insurance, all this right away. If your industry will allow, like sometimes you need an LLC and you need a
Yep.
business name
You
and
do.
all that and insurance to even start. But if you're doing like a pressure washing business or you're doing a car
Yeah.
detailing, do it on the side for a month or two and
Yep.
say, hey, I'm really making a lot of money. And if you are, I would just keep doing it on the side. But if you really want to go official with it, then hey, I can make this a career and whatever. And now
Yeah.
I start paying the tax man, blah 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 blah. But yeah, I would just say just try it out, just go for it.
Completely.
Like I said with Eric in the beginning, the best part about Eric is he's got a great idea every 2 weeks and he takes it with a full head of steam, full heartedly, and he's
Yes,
going to go
sir.
give it his best shot. So, he's taking his shots, he's taking his chances. If you take 5 shots at businesses in your life,
Yeah.
you get a out of 5 chance that they're going to hit.
Of
But if you
course.
take 100, you just took 95 more chances to win the lottery
Exactly.
than the other guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I hope I can continue to maintain like my self employment
Yeah.
and continue to do what I do. I really want to take it to a grand level because I do want to be top G and the man. But yeah, it's definitely hard. Like you know, you really got to be ready to work, and you got to be just as hard as you want to work.
Yeah.
The thing for me is I'll do physical work during the day, which is also my tile work. It's extremely precise.
Yep. Mentally as well.
That tires my head out too.
Mm-hmm.
But for me to move on, I want to move on to bigger things. I need to come home and try and like refreshen my brain
Yeah.
to focus on my next business, on my next thing. And that's the hard part is I come home, I just want to freaking flop down and go to bed.
Exactly.
So you really got to be able to grind. Like you got to
I
dig
think.
deep.
I think.
And
I think Tate said it. He said, you can see a man if a man is successful by the stress that he can endure in life. So if you're a man that can't endure a lot of stress, you are not going to be a successful man. And I think I honestly took that to heart. Like when I heard that, I was like, no, that's completely right. Like you and like another thing was like what I've been doing lately, and for about like a month or so now, is not caring about the pain. Like it sounds very like, oh, you're just not caring about the pain. How do you just do that? But it's saying, okay, this is hurtful in a moment, and this is painful in a moment, but when I get done with it, I know the reward. Like this pain is nothing to me. In my vast life that I'm about to live, this pain is absolutely nothing. And another one more thing that I do is today I was like I didn't want to go on my run, right? So
mm-hmm.
I didn't go on my run, but then I made myself do 500 push-ups, which was absolutely god awful. And I had to time it, so I only had a half hour.
Right.
And it was
Wow, that's impressive. I ought to try that.
it was no, the
So
things.
I have a thing for you, Eric.
What's up, man?
Think of your worst high school football. Um, so just think take as if high school football were life.
Okay.
Okay, so your sophomore year, whatever it was, first year on varsity,
Yeah.
you likely didn't see the field much, and I'm sure you were working about as hard as anyone else. So imagine the hottest day, 95, 2 a days. You might have had a
Yeah.
stomach ache. You were ready to kill yourself, throw up,
Yeah.
anything to get out of it. You were just, absolutely beat, and you still had to keep fighting through it, keep fighting through it. Suicides are like the point where you're just like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
That's it. Now think back to that. The day that you were getting your ring, or the day, the
Exactly.
moments you guys were spending in the locker room celebrating after a state championship, you almost like want to go back to that moment
I just
and be
got
like,
chills.
hell yes, I sucked it up through this. Like I want, like that's how I look at it in hockey. Like I
Yeah.
remember being on the absolute rock bottom and grinding so hard, and then being at the top and looking back and be like, God, that was fun. That was awesome. I could go back and do that right now
I'll go.
gladly because I know where it got me.
I know where it got
So
me,
like
dude.
you just got to think, yeah, now you apply that to life. Be like,
Completely.
say you're just starting out tile, you're like you're doing the nastiest, grossest, absolute just
Yeah. You
horrible
walk.
bathroom tear out, or
Yep.
you got mold everywhere, you're
Oof.
like, this is gonna be sick to look back on when I made it or when I'm there, you know?
Yep.
So it's all perspective, man.
It
If you
is.
can just see it, it's
It
McGregor.
is.
McGregor said it word for word. If you can see it
Yeah.
here and you have the courage to speak it, it'll happen.
It will happen,
So
dude.
you just gotta believe. I think speaking things into existence is so real.
I do too.
My chiropractor is like a witch doctor, and he, for over 30 minutes a day, will go over. He's got affirmations. He writes down what he wants to be,
Mhm.
who he wants to be as a man, as a husband, as a whatever.
Yeah.
Writes them down. He showed me his notebook, and he'll spend 30 minutes a day saying it to himself.
That's
And
sick.
he is all of those things.
I love that.
So
I love
yeah,
that, man.
it's really cool, man. Like everything that we want, bro, especially with all these blue-haired freaks
It's
with their heads so far up their butts,
yeah.
we have our heads on straight and we have it all right here. We have like all that you need, we've got, and you just got to go get it. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Just quit waiting around and go
Yep.
get it, boys. If you're out there thinking,
That's that's
I need to be more, I want to be more, I just don't know where to go,
exactly.
just
I think this
start.
is
Just start.
I think this quote right here that I'm about to say is a perfect way to end it. It's you can either start one day or you can start 2 day. So that's the choice you got to
Yeah.
make, baby. Like you're gonna think of. So let's
Yep.
start today, man. I really
Yep.
appreciate
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
coming on here, man, and taking the time
Dude,
out of your day to
anytime.
do
I
this.
love, dude, I love podcasts. I love talking this stuff. This is an absolute joy for me. So if you ever want to have me back, that'd be great.
Yeah, bro.
We'll gotta get some more eyes on these. I think a lot of people out there want to hear what you got to say,
Oh,
and
completely, man.
I think you're going to continue to gain some traction as a platform here. So I'm definitely happy to have done this. It was a pleasure. I can't believe an hour and a half started going by.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
It
but yeah,
was a
man,
great
like
conversation.
we're and also I don't we're 23. I don't. You might be 22
Yeah,
still.
22.
I'm 23. I don't have we don't have it all figured out. Trust
No,
me. I'm gonna go to
no.
bed right about now and think about what my next move is for 30 minutes. Wake up in the middle of the night and not know what it was. Then I'll change my mind again in the morning. Like we don't have it all together
Yeah,
either.
not at all.
But we know in our heads. You got to know in your head, I got this. I'm gonna be a success. And like I said, always just stick by the Lord, stick with Jesus, stick with your
Yeah,
brothers, your close
I
friends.
have gotten close to
That's
God.
what you need.
You do, man.
Dude, amazing. Let's talk about that. If you need
Yeah,
you
dude.
want to go any further with that, you call me. My girlfriend, I'm actually her godfather. I brought her into the Catholic Church.
Oh, dude, that's sick. That's
She
dope.
brought her. She was I'm mistaken to say I brought her in. She was drawn to it,
Yeah,
and I helped guide her,
completely.
and assist her into the church. And yeah, so anyone who shows that they're wanting to get in touch with the Lord,
Yeah.
there's definitely people out here who want to assist that and want that for you. That because that is
Mhm.
the ultimate security in
It
life,
is.
and that's kind of I feel why people like me and you have the courage to do to take shots is because I'm just doing what feels right in my heart, and I know that this is a part of the plan. So you're kind of in life, your end is already decided by God, so you're just kind of discovering your way to the end. So might as
Exactly.
well make it a good journey and make it what you want to be.
I love it, man. Well, thank you, man. I will.
Yeah.
We'll have to get you back on and have some more
No problem, man.
conversation.
I'm just about out of computer battery and everything's good. So yeah, I'd love to come on and talk about like a specific topic too, if you
Okay.
want to do that, or
Yeah.
just whatever. I like it all. It's all fun and games. I got
Yeah.
you know me. I'm
Completely.
I'm free in these hours, so
All right. Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
it was a lot of fun, bro. I hope you stick with it.
Dude, you're gonna see me here for a long time. That's across my heart, man. This is, dude.
All right, this is a fun job. So
Yeah, man. This is a fun. No, this is yeah. I got 3 other things I'm working on right now as well, including with this, and then I'm gonna also have in the next coming months, I'm gonna be streaming on all platforms, but I have to buy that software
Nice.
to be able to do that because
Gotcha.
I want it to not
Yep.
be lagging, and I'm also gonna buy new RAM so that we can process more and it might not be as glitchy.
Yep.
So there's gonna be upgrades.
Yeah, no, more support. Yeah, the more support you guys give the Pivotal View, the better it's gonna get. So
That's all it is.
like, subscribe, all that BS.
Yeah,
Do
all
it
that
all. Hit it
BS,
up.
man.
Explode them up.
I love it. Thank you,
Yes,
man.
sir.
All right.
Alrighty, bro.
Peace
Love you,
out.
man. Take care. Have a
Love,
good
man.
one.
You as well.